Pick me up, love, every day. Pick me up from the bottom up to the top, love, every day. Paying no mind to taunts or advances, to take my chances on every day. Left to right, up and down, love, a push up, love, love, every day. Jump in the mud or get your hands dirty with love it up every day. All you need is all you.
Hello everyone, John Obinger here from Stop the Hate, Share a Plate. We're with owner George LD at Wines by Nature, located in the beautiful and pristine shops here at Eastwind in Wading River, New York. George, thank you so much for having us here today.
My pleasure. Good to see you.
George, this shop is by far a 180 from what most people have ever seen when it comes to high-end spirits and wine. We're going to get into the uniqueness about this in a little bit, but before we do that, please take me through your journey when it comes to food and wine, your expertise, and the vision and the dream, if you will, that allowed this store to come to fruition.
Do we have enough time?
Please.
Well, what started my career is when I was younger, I wanted to become a chef.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked in a couple of kitchens, sure. And then I realized I don't want to be a chef.
Mm-hmm. Tough work.
But I did definitely stay in the food and wine business. Got me through college.
Mm-hmm.
I managed restaurants,
sure.
seafood bars in South Hold, and then I owned my own restaurant for almost 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, once you work in the restaurant business with a business degree, you kind of become unemployable.
Right.
My sales rep said, "You would be a great wine rep."
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to step right into a wine job. And for the next 18 years, I was a wine sales rep, and I was selling a lot of these really good small production family-run wineries to all the best stores and restaurants, Nassau County,
mm-hmm.
The Hamptons, and I slowly focused my territory out at North and South Forks.
Sure, more on the East End.
And on the East End.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got to the point where I knew that Wading River needed a proper wine shop.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is not a new concept.
Sure.
There are really, really some nice stores all across Long Island. Anywhere you live on Long Island, within 10 minutes, you're going to find a nice small bottle shop like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Wading River did not have one.
Mm-hmm.
So with knowing Patty over the cheese shop,
Mm-hmm.
I know
Right
her
over here.
I know her from the restaurant
Mm-hmm.
business, La Plage, and
Sure.
Stone, the golf club.
Mm-hmm. Right.
She
That's
gave
how-
it. Yeah, she
yeah.
gave it confidence, and I came in and I was basically practicing what I'm doing now.
Right.
For the past 18 years of
Sure.
my life. So I took what I saw in all the best shops, and I'm staying away from the stuff I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end of my career, I was almost like Gordon Ramsay.
Right.
It was just like, you donkey, put a broom down.
Yeah, sure.
Put some music on. When you came in, we had some Bob Marley jamming. Clean the shop. No cardboard. Those K-stacks.
Right.
You
Keep
know,
it clean, keep it nice.
Say hello to people.
Mhm. Sure. Right, the
You
service
know,
has been...
all
yeah.
this concept of where it is, and I'm just applying, what I was, telling my customers.
Sure.
And
That's where we're at.
this is where, and here we are.
Right. Now, for our viewers at home, when I started Stop the Hate, Share a Plate, it began in probably mid-April, kind of around the beginning of the pandemic. And the reason why I started the page was because there's such, I hate to say it, a lot of negativity, and it doesn't matter where you come from on social media, and I wanted to start something that was about food, and obviously we're bringing someone like yourself in for wine. And the reason being is I would see so many people with so many different views on many things, but when it comes to the palate and food especially, I found there was a lot of commonality more than people realized. There was actually communication, there was dialogue. So when I started the page with about a few followers, and then it started to grow to now close to 700, I realized maybe we have something going on here. But having said that, I have people that share that are novice. I have professional chefs that share. Someone like myself who's not a professional chef who loves to cook. And as you know, I've been in here numerous times. We've talked about pairings. We've talked about different proteins and what goes well with that, right?
Yes.
What I found is I think what I want to fill in as far as if there is a gap is when it comes to wine. I've talked to your partner, Chris Youngs, about this before. And, you know, wine can be a complement of food and food can be a complement of wine. Do you find for some of your customers wine to be intimidating? And if so, what do you feel you've brought to the market to change that?
The first 1 or 2 visits, you know, we look expensive. We're not. We look snobby. We're not. So once they kind of realize we're a couple of goofballs having a good time drinking wines and doing things, then they're able to listen, because
sure.
What happens is you walk in, you're not seeing the big brands, none at all. There's 2 shops 1 mile from here. The Wading River did not need 3 of us doing the exact same thing.
Right.
So, but once they realize, hey, what do you normally drink? What price point? What cheese you have from next door? What's for dinner?
Sure.
Then I get them in something that they're going to be comfortable with the price. And a lot of times we're going below their price point, and we're over delivering.
Right, and that's kind of goes along the promise less, deliver more, which is always a win for a customer. I have to say, having been here more than enough, and you mentioned this just before about wines that many people haven't heard of, or at least location, it really brings a big cultural diversity to not only just Long Island, but obviously to the world when it comes to these great fruits that bear these bottles. How do you and your partners go through the process of bringing these types of bottles and these types of vineyards and wines into a store like this?
Well, the first part of the equation is between myself and my staff. We have over 60 years in the food and wine business. With Chris running Mesquite for a number of years. James, whose family store was in Setauket.
Sure.
Now he's over at Stony Brook University. He started working when he was 8 years old.
Right.
Don't tell Protective Services. But he's been in the business his entire life.
Right.
With my restaurant background and my wife's catering background. So for 60 years. So we've taken all of that experience, tasting, knowing, and then we start from there without prejudice. Good wines have no borders.
Right.
So we are loyal to 2 things: price and quality. And the crazier it is, the more we're into it.
Okay.
So we really want to find the crazy things, and we want to bring it to our customers. And now, after 3 years, our customers are always looking, what else do we have coming in?
Right.
What's new? Because they want to try the fun things, because they know that we've done our homework. They know the value that's going to be there, and now they're digging it.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
the first couple of visits, you have to warm up to us.
They're testing the waters a little bit and seeing, what you guys have to offer. And for our viewers, I have to say, and you bring up a great point again about price. You can really go, nuts here and get something that's gonna, as far as a price point that blows the roof. But I've come in here on a given Saturday on a whim. I'm making some cedar plank smoked salmon. Am I going to go heavy to something to compete with that type of protein with the smoke? And I haven't had to break the bank. I mean, a $15, $20 bottle of wine is something that's really going to carry well, and it comes from all regions. I mean, obviously you have things that even are pricier than that, not to say that you're pushing that on customers, but you really have a great variety, and the price point, especially with something on the lower end, is really attainable to someone like that's a novice chef or novice cook to do.
Finding the best wines of the world, no problem. Piece of cake.
Right.
Got it right here. No problem. We specialize in white wines under 20, which most of our customers want, and red wines under 30. That's the bulk of our business. That's what the bulk goes through there. Yes, if you need a high-end Bordeaux or Burgundy, I can get it. Some of the cult wines, I can find all this. But the bread and butter business is in the mid-teens.
Right.
And the more inexpensive the wine is, the harder it is to find something that's drinkable.
Right, that's good.
So that's where our skill set has really been, honing down.
Sure.
Finding something, a Pinot Noir drinkable for $15 is really hard. A lot of them are just like sugary messes,
Mm-hmm.
and the big brands is just there's no skill involved there.
Right, right.
So that's where we do it, and we're not bullies, you know. We just do it. We like it, and
Sure.
we talk to people, our customers, and our sales reps, like we know them for 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
which is probably as straightforward as possible.
Right, and I have to say, you know, coming in here, the warmth and comfort of a store like this, I mean, it's obviously has such great aesthetics, and the beauty of it all, it really kind of brings you to feel that you're not even, like you're somewhere else, like you kind of take us on a destination when it comes to a shop like this. Now, you're kind enough to have something that we can share today, just for the viewers. What are we having today, just as a nice little toast to this, you know, great lead into Thanksgiving?
Well, this is not part of our Thanksgiving pack, but it's
Mhm.
something
Which we'll get into.
Well, yeah, but this is something that this is our basically this is turned into our #1 selling red wine. The name of the wine is Prunus. It is from Portugal, the Douro region. On the back of the label, the grape says Jayan, and Jayan is just the name of the Manthia grape in Portugal. It's completely unoaked. All the tannin and power is coming from the grapes.
Okay.
It's a small production, and these guys are trying to get the best value they can
Sure.
for Portuguese wines. And yeah, a lot of Portuguese wines are $8.99, $9.99, but at $15.99, we're kind of in a different stratosphere.
Okay.
So again, no borders.
Right.
And people come back to go, oh my God.
Right, yeah.
If you see the cubby, we have the cubby.
Mhm.
We have more than a case of the wine in the cubby. Because Chris and I just can't run around the store every day replacing the bottle. Throw a case up there, just freaking
Let it ride. Yeah, I know.
You know, we're constantly chasing it
Sure.
because people pick it up all the time. And it's
Beautiful.
medium bodied, good balance, good texture, and super versatile.
Right.
It can touch chicken, salmon.
Definitely a
Steak,
steak.
yeah, simple, you know, stir steak.
Sure.
You know.
But beautiful, absolutely. So I appreciate this. And in a moment, with Thanksgiving coming up and around the corner, we have Hanukkah and we have Kwanzaa and we have Christmas. You know, a lot of things are going to be moving rather soon. So we're going to break for a second, and when we come back, George is going to highlight the Wines by Nature 6-pack. That's offered as a set, and I'm sure you can take these individual as well. But a great a bridal, if you will, of some whites and some reds that'll be sharing well with your holiday meal coming up in less than a week, which is crazy. I can't believe Thanksgiving is in 6 days from now, which is, I don't know where it came from, but it's here. So we're going to pause for a sec, and we're going to check out the 6-pack.
Yep.
Sounds good.
How did I get here?
I know. Cool.
All right, so this is our Thanksgiving pack. So what we've done is we've put together a variety of wines that are going to go with your Thanksgiving Day meal, because it's not just an hour, it's a whole kind of day event, and the broad spectrum of what's on your table is varied. So we've assembled these 6 bottles of wine. We took off 15%, which is our normal 1 case discount, and we packaged them together, and you're out the door for $95.99. So to start, we have a nice little Frizzante from the south of France, a Pinot Gris Frizzante. So it has a little more richness and texture than Prosecco, but if you like Prosecco, that price point, this really over delivers. And Rosé, also good with turkey. And then from Long Island, you always need something that's a little bit off dry. So Macari's early wine that was just released early this month is perfect. And then for the bird, we have Pinot Noir from Bacchus from California. Has a nice richness to it without being dry. Dolcetto from Italy. Some Italian wines do well with turkey because they're high in acid. Some wines you want to make sure they're low in tannins, like the Dolcetto, and have that kind of get through the red meat. And one of the no's is don't have Cabernet with turkey. It's too dark, too dense, too tannic, too dry. But Zinfandel, with the opulent fruit of Zinfandel, and with, you know, there are going to be dry wines, but the fruitiness really goes through. So having these with your cheese and your first course, and everyone sitting around watching the end of the football game, so you have, you know, your soup, your cheese platter, these go great with that, and they also can make it to the meal. and these for the table. You can use them all the way around because you have sweet stuff on the table, you have savory on the table, you got 10 different vegetables and starches in the turkey meat, so you need something that's really going to be balanced through. They're all low alcohol, except for the Zinfandel is probably a little bit higher, but that is the way Zin, because it's an all-day event, you don't want to get weighted down. So the 6-pack like this can feed 6 to 8 people the way it sits, more or less depending on your habits, and it's been a very successful little promotion that we have so far. So there's our Thanksgiving pack.
So as George mentioned, a great 6-pack in store for your Thanksgiving and family gathering. George, we had some great conversation earlier about the big name brand wines and obviously the differences that are carried in the store and why it's so important, even from our novice cooks that are learning how to share what they're putting on our page and learning from even our intermediate all the way up to our professional chefs. Explain to me what you just mentioned about the difference here, and I think it's really important to know.
All right, so when you're looking at a commercial, big industrial brand, I don't want to name the names, but they're everywhere. Sugar hides flaws, and since they're making so much of it, they're buying inexpensive grapes, and they have to make like 500,000 cases taste the same.
Sure.
So they kind of dumb everything down.
Mm-hmm.
They can do 27 different things to wine and not tell you anything.
Sure.
So and now they're all starting to taste the same. Those are the wines that you want to kind of put aside. Just put them aside. Go anywhere you want to go, anywhere, and ask for small production, family-run wines. Mm-hmm. Trial wines are a little more drier than you would think you would like, because wine is really the windshield wiper to your palate.
Okay.
So that last bite is as interesting as the first. So it's called pallet fatigue, and if you don't know what pallet fatigue is, I bet you do. If you ever have salmon plain by itself, eat halfway through it, you're kind of full. Mm-hmm. Or a hamburger. I mean, what do we do to a hamburger to elevate it?
No, you're saucing it up. You're putting bacon, cheese. You're really adding condiments to this.
Condiments are acids, right? Pickles, hot sauce, ketchup, load of sugar.
Sure, right.
Right? We're adding stuff to it, salt and pepper, the bitterness. So we are elevating that. That's what this is. Mm-hmm. It's in the glass, and that kind of cleans it so you're nice and freshened up. Mm-hmm. And that's what wine is for. It's that complement to the food. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to cut the vegetables and have a little Prosecco or Sauvignon Blanc while you cook it, awesome. But those bigger red, dry wines, everyone's called, they're too tannic, too dry, too bitter. Try them with food. Mm-hmm. And when you try them with food, you'll hopefully come to the realization that they go together. If you do it right, you get it together.
Great points. Awesome. I think that's, it really kind of encapsulates all that we've talked about, really brings it together, and obviously what your mission here is, kind of comparing to the big box brands and all that stuff.
People go into a store and you spend 10 minutes picking the right tomato and vegetable.
But you don't do it with the wine, right? Exactly.
Buy your wine like you buy your vegetables.
Sure.
Look at, inspect it, make sure it's the perfect one.
Right.
And then seek out a purveyor or a store anywhere and have them guide you.
Right. George, in closing, where can our viewers contact you? So you have a Facebook page,
yes,
Instagram page, if you want to just kind of give that information.
Wines by Nature, easily findable on Instagram and Facebook. I think Facebook is one I probably do the most of. Mm-hmm. If you live locally, you'll see that I do share to local community pages here. Mm-hmm. I also have an online site for curbside pickup and local delivery. Mm-hmm. That's Wines by Nature ny.square.site, or if you find it anywhere on my pages, you'll see a little QR code. You can find it there.
Very cool. So from all of us here at Stop the Hate, Share a Plate, and George, thank you so much for inviting us in to Wines by Nature. We wish you all a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving. And before you know it, we're going to be talking about the future holidays coming up in December. So take care, be well, and be safe. Take care.
Happy Thanksgiving.